A sidebar is a block of supplemental text. It is shorter and graphically separated from the main text flow. It is also related to the main idea, often with different number of columns, to the body text with a custom baseline grid. Hi everyone, I am Elias Sarantopoulos and welcome to another Affinity Canva Layout training session on how to create a sidebar for your digital magazine. With the exercise file open inside Affinity Layout, and to start this off, and look inside my notes here, this is going to be the corresponding text for the sidebar. So I'll copy that to the clipboard, and from the toolbar, I grab the frame text tool and just click and drag to create a text frame. I'll release that, paste the corresponding text, and make sure that I resize that to fit the width of the type area. Now, to remove the overflowing body text out of the way of this text frame, under the text menu, text wrap, I'll bring up the text wrap options. For the wrap style, I'm going to use jump, so the text appears above and below the objects. As for the distance from text, I'll keep everything at 0 and then click to close. I would like this sidebar to span 3 columns across the width of the type area. That means we need to work inside the text frames options. You can access the panel under the window menu, text, and text frame. So I'll set the number of columns to 3. Since the sidebar would have limited space and condensed typeface, the gutter space also will be smaller than the article's body text. You see, the gutter space for the body text is set to 13 points. So for this text frame, we're going to set ours to 10 points. As for the insets, these specify the inside margins of the text area so the text breathes within. So I'm going to set that mine uniformly to 10 points. Because the sidebar text is going to be smaller in size and have a tighter space between lines of text than the article's body text, and I am referring to the leading value, we're going to create a custom baseline grid just for this text frame. So right here, we're going to enable use independent baseline grids. The start position will be set to 0, and so the counting will begin at 0, starting from the top inset, which is set to 10 points. This is going to be relative to the top inset, and the grid spacing will be set to 10 points, which is the grid increment, which once again is smaller than the article's body text. And now that the sidebar has been set, next step is to create a paragraph style for the text within. To create a paragraph style for the sidebar, that means we need to be working inside the text styles panel, which you can access under the window menu, text, and then text styles. All right, so with nothing selected, and at the very bottom, I'll click to create a new paragraph style. For the style, I'll give it a name of a sidebar. This is not going to be based on anything. And I'm also going to click to reset formatting, so we start from scratch and there is no overlap coming from other paragraph styles. For the font family, I'll use the Andera Pro, same font family as the body text. Font style will be set to medium, and the font size will be set to 8 points. Now looking inside the paragraph spacing, our line will be set to left, and we're going to have an exact leading value of 10 points. What is very important here is that we align everything to the baseline grid, and I'm referring to this custom baseline grid that we set up earlier inside the text frame. So I'll go ahead, enable that, and then I click OK. So to apply this sidebar paragraph style to this text frame, all we have to do is click once and then click on the paragraph style. All right, so let's look inside the preview mode. Things are looking good. Now I would like to have a background color for the entire sidebar. So we'll click on the text frame inside the text frame's options, and for the fill, I use black on my end, which means now we need to change inside the text styles and the sidebar. We need to change the color. So I will enable the font color and set mine to white, and then I click OK. So far so good, but we're going to continue this and adjust the paragraph style even further. Now, to indicate the start of a new paragraph, we're going to need indentation. So I'll switch from the normal mode to the preview mode, and back inside the sidebar and inside the paragraph spacing, I'll set the first line indent to 8 points, the same value as the font size, and then I click OK. So here is the first indentation at the beginning of the paragraph. Let's go ahead and create another paragraph break. I'll double click to get into the paragraph and then press Enter Return on the keyboard. And now we'll come across this extra space that has been created between those two paragraphs. That actually comes from the space after. I'll double click to go back to the sidebar paragraph style, and for the space after, I'm going to set this to 0, and then I click OK. As you can see now, there is no extra space between paragraphs. But there is an exception to the indentation which applies only to the very first paragraph, which is this one right here. That means we need to create a variant of the sidebar paragraph style. I'll right click to duplicate that, and I'll give it a name of no indent. In this case, I'm going to zero out the first line indent, and then I click OK. So to apply the non-indent to the very first paragraph, I double click on that and apply this paragraph style like so. All right, let's bring back the normal mode and click on the text frame. As you can see here, we have this red arrow which indicates there's more text inside the sidebar. So I'm just going to increase the height just a tad, like so. For the entire sidebar, I would like to have a heading that spans across 3 columns. And look inside my notes, this is going to be about the Archaeological Museum. So I'm going to copy that to the clipboard and then switch from the preview mode to the normal mode. From a toolbar, I grab the frame text tool and just click and drag to create a text frame. I'll release that and paste. I'll position it, the new text frame right on top of the sidebar. And to remove the body text out of the way, back on the text menu, text wrap and text wrap options. For the style, I'm going to use jump. And now we need space above, which means space on the top. The question is, how much space is enough? Well, let's not forget that the leading value of the body text is set to 13 points, which means 13 points for each line of text. So we're going to up ours a bit more than 13 points. And that will be 14 points and then click to close. I like the breathing space, so I'll go ahead and keep that and continue by selecting the text frame and add a new paragraph style. For this paragraph style, I'm going to give it a name of Sidebar Heading. This is not going to be based anything. I'm just going to reset that so we start from the very beginning. For the font family, I'm going to use Aptos. Font style to extra bold. Font size to 14 points. And I'm also going to center this. Let's not forget, also, at least right now, I'm going to set this already to white color and then click OK. All right, so we don't see it because we need to continue styling this. So double click on that again and click on the decorations. In this case, I'm going to enable the decoration and I have decoration 1. The reason I'm doing this is because I would like to have a horizontal top line as well as a fill color. So first, let's go ahead and enable the fill option. Here's the fill color. I'm going to click on that and use hex value of my choice 0066FF. Here it is. All right, I like that. Now we need to stretch this to both sides. And we can do that with the combination of indentation and relative to. So this is going to be relative to the column for the left and the right. You see, row 1 and 3 control the width. For the top and bottom, we're going to set that to ascent and the bottom to descent. Great. How about the horizontal line? That means we need to activate the top edge. I'll up the stroke size to 3 points and change the stroke color to red. And for the top, I'm going to set this to -2 points and then I click OK. Here is the final result. This is exactly what I was going for the sidebar.